Should we just jump right into it?
I mean, this is yours. I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep after being up for like 26 hours, so I'm not like pristine right now.
Great. I'll put this in so nobody gets too excited. Anyway. Hi, hello. Welcome to Conversations Over. This week, a conversation over autumn, or the fall if you prefer, and what we think of it. I'm Garrett.
And I am Tyler.
And let's get
right into the news.
Right into.
Is that copywritten?
I didn't want to say into the news because I think that's copyrighted.
I don't think we're big enough to get a claim just yet, but we'll find out.
First official episode of Conversations Over where I will have to do legal research before I can publish it.
No, you can publish it, and then if we get like a notice, we'll cut it out.
Oh, that's a great idea. A lot of small, burgeoning companies make it through cease and desist orders.
Alright, whatever.
Anyway, like I mentioned, this week we're going to be talking about the season upon us, or at least where we are, it's upon us. If you live in California, or, I don't know, Australia, another hemisphere, or somewhere where the weather doesn't tend to
I would
change,
like to point out California is not in a different hemisphere. California is not in a different hemisphere.
I know, that's why I added the addendum.
Okay.
That other hemispheres and simply places where weather does not change quite as frequently.
Speaking of California, they're on fire, and that's sad.
They haven't for quite a while.
Well, I feel like it was under control, and then someone was like, "Ooh, gender reveal."
Well, didn't that start a large portion of them this?
Yeah,
season?
no, that's what cost them. That's what I'm saying.
And then a lot of people just took to arson because they're assholes.
I didn't hear about the arson. I just heard about the gender reveal party.
Yeah, a lot of people have been caught in forested areas, like trying to start fires in neighborhoods and such. I don't think it's too crazy a contradictory stance to say I don't think arson is a good thing to do. Don't commit arson.
Arson's a bad thing to do. In fact, I'll go so far as to say.
Will you go as far as to say arson is bad?
I'm not sure that's a hot take.
Wow. So if I didn't leave in the introduction from earlier where Tyler said he's running on 4 hours of sleep, I think that joke is all you really need to know about what's
That's all you need to know about my sense of humor. That's gold.
Fair enough. So not to get into the topic too much, but we're going to be talking about fall. What's good? What's bad? Some traditions we have. The upcoming holiday season, even. So, without further ado, Tyler, what's your favorite season?
My favorite season is obviously fall. I like it because the colors are pretty.
Are these true statements?
Okay, so my favorite season is actually fall. But not just because the colors are pretty. It's
right.
Sweater weather is my favorite kind of weather. And it's getting cooler and crisper, and also pumpkin spice lattes are back.
You like those PSLs?
I like me a nice PSL. I don't know if a pumpkin spice latte is like specifically for Starbucks, but if you go to Caribou, they have a white chocolate pumpkin mocha. So good.
Dunkin' Donuts has a pumpkin spice latte. It's not
Do
true.
they? I've not been to a Dunkin' in a hot minute, actually.
Do you have a good donut scene down there, or?
There's like a Jack's Donut somewhere near us. I'm sure there are like
took a trip home to get
small
some
bakeries.
donuts.
Yeah, I might be doing that again this week too.
Are you?
Yeah, with a bigger crew this time.
How were those?
So good. And there was no line. It was kind of crazy.
Well, it was like, what, a Tuesday night?
Yeah, that's true. It was Monday night.
Some people got shit to do.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It was weird though. There was like maybe like 2 or 3 other groups in line, and we're in there. It's me,
Of other college
Jalen.
students?
College age kids. I don't know if they're all in school. So here, this ties in because Jalen's girlfriend's name is Autumn. So it kind of...
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not even lying.
Should I cut any of this out?
You might. I don't think they're going to hear it. So we're in there, right? And those two are ordering the donuts that they want. And I get a tap on the shoulder. And I'm like, who at 1 a.m. is tapping me on the shoulder?
Uh-huh.
And I turn around and he says, do you miss getting your ass kicked at diving?
Damn.
And it's my good friend Matthew from Carroll. It's a running gag because he only beat me one time.
Did he beat you by a lot, or was it close?
Oh yeah. He got like 4th. I got like 8th, I think.
Oh, okay.
I didn't show up that day, you know.
Because you were quite the good diver.
Back in my day, I miss it actually, and I can't really do anything about that right now. Because
the pool's probably not open yet, is it?
The Rona. Well, I think it's open for swim team practices, but it turns out there's not like a diving club like I thought there was, and so I need to contact someone about starting a club, but also contact like a coach or something.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to the
and request special permission.
Whoever runs the facility.
But I've talked about it with some friends, and there's been some interest shown, so I think it's a viable option.
And then you can teach all your friends how to dive.
Oh hell yeah! I'll be teaching myself how to dive too, like platform stuff. This got out of hand very quickly.
It did get out of hand very quickly, but you did say fall was your favorite season, which is the answer I was fishing for. While I was also kind of hoping you'd say any other season, just as the joke.
Nope. I didn't spring your trap.
That's unfortunate.
So it is hey, editor added like a brumts there.
I will do my best, but chances are I don't have GarageBand and I won't be able to do that.
You're supposed to like not make people know you're the editor.
Am I not?
Oh shit, what day is it?
Today is Monday, October 5th. Which is also something podcasts don't usually tell the audience.
Well, I mean, you can cut this part out. I'm donating blood in like the 15th or something.
I missed a blood drive by 1 day. I was trying to find a blood drive, and I finally found a flyer that said blood drive, September 29th, and it was the 30th.
Yeah, I got a call a while back from the Red Cross, and they're like, hello, would you like to give us your blood, please? And I was like, sure. Can you find me something close by? And they were like, alright, where are you? And I was like, I am in this location. I'm not about to dox myself on the third
No, you've already doxed Jalen.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm here, can you find one close? And they're like, here you go. And so I signed up like a month ago, and I kind of forgot about it to just now.
That's fair. I got an email. I might sign up because there's a location not too far from this campus. I might just drive over one day and give blood.
Yeah. What is your favorite season? Let's try and rein this in.
While I do enjoy fall, I find it hard to pick a favorite season. I tend to like early winter, so a little after fall, because I really like the snow, and that's what I liked growing up, was that winter feeling. But that's a lot of that has to do with just family stuff, getting together and celebrating the few traditions we do. But I mean, we'll talk about that later in a winter episode, which I'm sure I will pretend was a good idea, and make up when the time comes. But in the meantime, let's talk about some fall traditions. Do you know any fall traditions that we've practiced or you look forward to practicing?
Well, I just want to touch on the whole favorite season thing real quick. Mm-hmm. It's easy for me to say fall is my favorite season, because it is, but I also find myself like whenever I'm in one season, I'm like, man, I can't wait for this next season.
Right.
Like it'll be like super hot in summer, and I'll be like, I can't wait till it cools down in fall, and then I'll be like, oh, I can't wait till I can go ice skating, and it's just like it's a whole cycle. But as far as fall traditions go, I feel like we don't really have. I mean, we have like Thanksgiving dinner, right? That's not really a tradition. It's kind of a tradition the way we do it because it's Thanksgiving lunch.
And there's the parade, of course.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't really... We're not a very tradition-based family, though.
We're not. Not widely. But you really think there's no fall tradition?
I'm trying to think of one. I mean, we usually go to a pumpkin patch. But I wouldn't say that's a tradition because we don't do it every year. I feel like this is definitely a trap, and I'm not sure.
This is a trap. And as soon as I tell you what I did this weekend, you will know the answer. And that is this weekend, Katie and I went apple picking.
Would you consider that a tradition of ours?
I would, because we've done it every year since we've been here.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, from a technical standpoint.
It's an established event within a family.
If a tradition is something you do every year around the same time, then I guess that's a tradition.
Textbook omission.
I don't know if I'll be going this year, though.
No?
I mean, I would like to. Like, if we go with the family or something. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out logistically. Because, I mean, it's a tradition. We have to go pick apples. We did it last year. We managed to get Robert there, the mythical third brother of Conversation Over, who will hopefully make an appearance at some time. I mean, he made it, and that was hard to do, but we got us all there, and we picked some apples, and then I didn't bring any home with me to college, and I didn't get to eat any of them.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of going to the airport and not bringing any of the chocolates. Which I was also sad about. Which, of course, has nothing to do with this podcast.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
When you dropped me off at the airport for my study abroad
program, yeah.
We went to the chocolate store. The Godiva chocolate store, I believe.
Yes, it was Godiva.
Before I got on the plane and left America for what ended up only being a month. But was, in essence, supposed to be much longer. We bought a bunch of chocolate, and I did not bring any of it with me when I left.
I was polite enough to save it for you, though. I was going to eat it.
I do appreciate that.
I'm a huge sucker for chocolate, especially dark chocolate, so I was about to just, like, kind of steal it, but...
Unfortunately, I believe Dad ate it.
Did he really?
I think he did. I never touched it. I never saw it.
It's low-key probably still in the freezer, then.
In the freezer?
That's where it was.
Oh, I didn't look in the freezer.
Okay.
It's probably still in there, then.
I guess now you have that to look forward to and then be disappointed by.
You're right. Speaking of looking forward to things, my fall break is coming up. This is topical. I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting out and playing a little bit of golf. So, I ordered a putter again today. We can get into why I had to say again and today. After I mentioned that I really want to play golf on break, and I hope that we figure out how you can join us.
Yeah, my classes are not like that concrete, so it's the only days that I really have to be here are Tuesdays, because that's when I have like my one like mandatory class. Well, I have mandatory class every day.
That one's pretty early in the morning, though, isn't it?
No. That one is gonna be at 1 usually. So it's a 2-hour block, and he splits us up into 2 groups because he needs to be able to focus on all of us because it's ASL. And so when opportunity allows us, we'll have in-person classes. The first one was last week, and I missed the sign up because I was at work when it happened. Like when the sign up was passed out. But the in-person block is going to be from 1 to 2, and then the virtual is from 2 to 3. And the next in-person isn't for a few. I think he said it's the 13th.
That's unfortunate because we were looking to play on Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah, because that's the last day of my break. We'll figure it out off podcast. But I'm going to tell a tale of why I had to order 2 putters. So the 2 putter story is essentially a summer in the making in which I've been playing. First of all, I'm not that serious into golf. I'm getting more serious than I used to be. Certainly, we played a little bit in high school, but I mean that was more just to goof around outside than it was to be serious about the sport. But then I took a course in golf last year that I was really interested in. I had a good time. I learned a lot about the sport, and I've been interested in playing, not seriously, not professionally, but regularly. And I mean, as growing adults, it's a good way to spend time with our dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I go, if we're being
Exactly.
real.
Because, I mean, with the military lifestyle, we didn't get to spend a lot of that time with him before, and it's nice to have a way to spend time with him now, and that just happens to be golf. So I got a set for, I want to say Christmas. It might have been just a random gift from our grandparents who knew I was looking for a set. I'm left-handed, so it's hard to come by. So they found me a set, and they gave it to me. And it's a lovely set of clubs, all pretty new, pretty quality clubs, some really good drivers. The only problem is the putter is probably 48 inches tall, and it's ridiculous to swing, and I hate it. So every time we would go golfing, I would just use our dad's putter, but he lost it, and we have no idea where it went, which means now one of us needs to get a putter. So I think, I like golf, I'll get a putter, whatever, no problem. So I get on Amazon, I order a putter, and it's coming in 3 days. That was like 2 weeks ago at this point. I get excited for it. It finally arrives in the mail. I take it upstairs to my apartment. I open it up, and I'm like, something is very wrong about this putter. It's right-handed. So this whole time I've been waiting for what I assume is a left-handed putter. A right-handed putter arrives, and I'm like, great. I've got this 5-foot-long box that this 35-inch putter came in, and now I have to bring it back downstairs, print out a label for it, and give it back to the clubhouse and tell them it has to go back. I need to return this. And I just leave it basically at their desk with a return shipping label on it. And that was the last I saw it. I was very sad for a few days, and I finally got around to ordering a new one. And it should be here on the 9th.
Yeah, that was quite the tragedy. I watched it all unfurl live, and I just gotta say, like, did you order it from Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Amazon's not been doing too hot. I just ordered something like last week, and I got the confirmation from Amazon saying it had been delivered. And so I waited until my apartment complex gave me the email that it had been delivered, because that means it's in their system and I can go pick it up. And so I waited and I waited and I waited, and a week had passed. And finally I was like, okay, I have some free time, I'm going to go down there and ask. And so I walk into the clubhouse, some guy comes, he's like, hello, how may I help you? I was like, yes, I ordered a package, it said it was delivered, but I didn't get confirmation from you guys, so I was just wondering, like, hey, what's up? And he goes, oh, well, if it was delivered by, I think it's UPS. It's UPS or USPS?
UPS usually handles their package.
Then what they do is they put a set of keys in your mailbox, and your package is in, like, a bigger mailbox that's out there locked.
Yeah, that's how the system was in Graz.
And so I was like, oh, okay. So I come upstairs, I ask my roommate, I'm like, hey, can I have the mail key? Because we only have the one, even though we're all supposed to have them. Yep, that's That's okay though. It hasn't been like a huge thing yet. And so I get the mail key, I go down there, I open up the mailbox, I get all the mail that's in there. And my stuff is not there. There's no keys to open another mailbox. So I was like, okay, fine. I go upstairs, I realize I'm locked out of the apartment. My roommate had left, so I have to wait for him to come back. That's a whole thing. I finally get back in the apartment.
In the beginning of this episode.
It might be. We can cut some things out. It's not my job.
Surely.
But so yeah, Amazon, step it up, man. Speaking of Amazon, I work there. And I do customer returns, and my first day, or like not really my first day, but like the first week there, things were like kind of rough just because like I was learning the new job.
Mm-hmm.
And then my second week there is a mess. I show up, and the second week is supposed to be in a certain area, so that way they have someone higher up, like a supervisor, walking around so they can help you.
Makes sense.
In case you have any questions, because there are some things that you can mess up very easily. That's a fireable offense. And so they just come through and they check every now and then, and they're there to answer your questions. And so I was like, okay. I was at the line that they told us to go to, and someone came up and she was walking down the line. She was asking people what week it was for them. And everyone that I recognized that started on the same day as me, she came up, she asked them, they told her, she moved them over to line 1 instead of line 2. And then it gets to me and Jalen,
Yes.
and I'm like, oh yeah, it's our second week here. And she's like, oh okay, go to line 6. And I'm like, this is
What?
strange. This is strange, but I'll do it. So I go to line 6, and I am there, and Jalen follows, and no one else from our start day shows up. And that's when I kind of was like, okay, something's off. She doesn't realize that it's not technically our second week, but our third day. She didn't get the connection there. And so we're thrown into the deep end. We're just doing the job. And so we get going. And a manager comes by, and he's talking to both of us. He goes like, hey, like, how's it going? What's your rate? And I was like, mine's like a 22, because I had only been there for 2 days. And he was like, oh, okay, you need to try and get that up to a 30. And I was like, yeah, I have 10 weeks to get it up to a 30. And so he turns to Jalen. He's like, what's your rate? Jalen says his is a 26, which was a lie. And so the manager goes, we were both at like a 22. I think he might have been at a 23 at the time.
Okay.
And so we were on the same pace. And then the manager takes him aside. He goes, I got a job for you. And Jalen leaves. And I'm like, all right. So I'm there. I'm processing a few things. Manager comes back. He goes, you know what? I got a job for you too. And he takes me, and I'm doing an entirely different job than the job that I had trained to do the week prior.
And signed up for.
And the way it works is there's like an RNG, and if your name is drawn, you do this job. It wasn't that bad. But then this week, I'm up to processing at a 38 average. I averaged 38 packages an hour yesterday, 31 on Saturday, so it's like 34 for the week. And I was like, this is the easiest job. Like, you have to memorize the questions, and then you just look at the package, and then you can click through without reading anything.
Naturally.
It's the easiest thing.
It doesn't sound too hard.
No.
Sounds more fun than my job. Today I got to file papers in my boss's office. After I had to call her so that I could give her a fax number off of our fax machine, because she did not come in today, but needed the fax number off of our fax machine.
Nice.
Yep, that's my whole job.
My job is basically just Papers, Please, if you know what that is.
Which is a great game.
I've never played it, but
It's a little different probably because I don't think you can destroy communist Russia from Amazon. I mean, in a way you already have.
That's all I'm doing, so.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, the fall. Should we talk about the fall a little bit?
Oh yeah. The topic of conversation. The conversations over
hmm
the fall. The fall of the Roman Empire, perhaps.
That was not a short fall. I think things really went down the drain when they started with emperors.
Yeah, as soon as Augustus Julius Caesar the Third showed up, they were kind of screwed.
Augustus did one good thing, according to literary scholars everywhere, and that was publishing the Aeneid after Virgil's death. When Virgil, the author of the Aeneid, died, he said, "Destroy my work, it's incomplete. Do not let people see it." And his homeboy said, "Too bad," and he published it.
Yeah. What
So the
about
fall of
the?
the Roman Empire, Hannibal invaded. He crossed the mountains on an elephant, so that was pretty cool. Barbarians were there, allegedly. The Vikings had something to do with it. I don't believe that, because I'm not a historian and I don't have to.
I I do believe the Roman Empire was considered to be the first Reich.
I don't want to get into that. And I
I'm
have to use the bathroom, so I gotta take a timeout.
all right. I guess I'll be here. I'm not sure I'll be entertaining the troops while you're
Okay,
off.
I'm gonna pause my recording.
Okay, I'll just keep going about the First Reich. The First Reich, I believe, I haven't researched this in a minute, but I do believe the First Reich was the Roman Empire. I know the Second Reich was the Germanic Empire, back when there was like a German Empire, and the Third Reich is, of course, the one that shall not be named. And I don't think there's a Fourth Reich, technically. I'm not sure. But history, it's a fun topic. It's not my area of study, but we were all in high school once. Now it's just gonna be dead air, and he'll cut this all out anyways. It's kind of warm in my room, and I have to turn the fan off because it makes too much background noise. But part of me wonders if the background noise from the fan will help drown out the background noise from the traffic, because these walls are like paper thin and I'm right by the road. I need to buy some like soundproofing. I just need decoration in general, actually. I don't really have a lot going on in here. I gotta take the nails out of the wall first because the person before me destroyed this place. But I took pictures of it, I have evidence, so I'll get my security deposit back. Maybe I should talk about the subject at hand. The fall. I mean, we call it fall because the leaves fall over here in America. I don't know if that's the actual reason, but that's the reason that I choose to believe. A fun fact about the fall: the leaves change colors. That's not the fun fact. Bear with me. The darker the color of the leaf, the more, I believe it's sucrose or sucralose, plant sugar. The more plant sugar that leaf produces. So if you see like a maple tree, which is known to be a very sweet tree, it produces syrup, and like, well, it doesn't produce syrup, it produces sap that turns into syrup, I think. Moral of the story, that turns a very dark color in the fall because it's a sweeter leaf. I don't recommend eating them. They don't taste that good though. Not that I've tried. I've never eaten a leaf, guys. That's not... well, I guess like spinach. Does that count? That's a leaf, right? It doesn't grow on a tree. How does spinach grow, actually? I gotta wait for Garrett to come back and ask him this. You'll know. Oh, you're back. All right, I got a question for you.
Hello?
How does... Oh, I've been talking about the whole time. Like, you'll have to listen through, and you can edit out some of it.
Okay, well, then it's important for you to know, and for the people to know, that the First Reich was not the Roman Empire, it was the Holy Roman Empire.
Is that not the same?
It is not the same.
Oh, okay.
The Holy Roman Empire was an attempt by the Pope and Charlemagne, of all people.
Is that the guy from Transformers?
No. Charlemagne is Keanu Reeves.
Oh, okay.
To unite
Shia LaBeouf.
most of Central Europe. Yeah, that's who you were thinking.
Gotcha.
Under a sort of proto-union. So it was France, Germany, and most of Northern Italy.
And Middle Earth.
Yes, also Middle Earth.
Okay. Because it was a Frodo, you get it?
Yes.
I'm on
Also,
fire
important
today.
note, the only people who refer to the Holy Roman Empire as the First Reich are Hitler.
Right, yeah. I'm not saying I support his ideals. I'm just saying that was something I read about.
Okay. What was your question?
How does spinach grow?
How does spinach grow?
Yeah, and you're not gonna get the context of this until after you listen back.
I believe spinach grows in a bush. I will
Is it
find
like
out.
Like a head, like lettuce and cabbage?
I think so. Spinach, it grows, yeah, sort of like lettuce.
Okay, cool. I just wasn't sure, and that's very, very prominent.
Fantastic.
You'll find out. You should be excited for it.
Do you ever wonder why they call it the fall?
I already talked about that. Moving on.
Did you really?
Yeah, I said we call it the fall because the leaves fall. What do you mean?
That's
Is that
exactly
not what-
why. Did you know that was exactly why?
Bro, you're gonna have to listen back because like people have heard this twice, but you weren't here for it. I was like, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I like to believe.
It dates as far back as the 1500s. People began to call it fall because of the falling of the leaves.
Nice. Whereas the word autumn is derived from Latin autumnus, archaic. Autumnus, possibly from the ancient Etruscan word auto,
Exactly.
which it's has connotations of the passing of the year.
But of course, our audience already knows all of this.
Clearly, I'm pretty sure everyone who listens to this podcast is fluent in Latin.
If my professor and advisor ever finds it, first of all, hello, doctor. Second of all, I apologize for our Latin pronunciations because we are not fluent in Latin, unlike yourself.
How can you be fluent in a dead language?
Well, that's a great question, and if he was a guest, I would ask him, but he is not. I saw him in the hallway last week, and I almost didn't recognize him because he wears glasses, but he was wearing contacts because of the mask, and the other reason I did not recognize him was because of the mask.
Yeah, that's fair. Did he recognize you? Is
He
the real
did.
question.
I am very noticeable thanks to the red hair.
Did he say hi, or was he like?
He did. He said, "Hey, how's it going?" But it was the American "How's it going?" where you don't really have time to find out.
Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, it's going.
That's exactly what I said as I walked the other way down.
Yeah, this is the Midwest, of course. That's what you said.
Of course.
I usually try and give a fun answer to that, like, "Oh, I'm hanging in there," you know.
Same soup, just reheated.
Same scoop, just reheated.
I like that one.
My best friend from work, who will never hear this podcast, so I can jokingly say he's my best friend from work, because that's how I refer to him, to Jalen. His name is Josh. He's a cool guy. I met him on like the first day, and he recognized me at work yesterday. He was like, "Hey Tyler, how's it going?" And I was like, "I'm hanging in there," which is where this comes in, right? I just thought I should mention it. And he brought a guitar. He was playing guitar during lunch. He's very talented. Like, if I had $1, I would have put it in his guitar case. That's how talented he is. You can cut that part out. I don't think anyone cares.
You haven't
I
finished
feel like
just hanging in there. Is there more to the story? Did he respond in some way?
no, it was in passing. I was surprised that he knew my name
Oh.
because I was a new hire that he had just met. We struck up a decent conversation. You know how charming I can be.
Certainly, as does the audience.
For sure. They get all the charm when you're gone.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, God. Okay,
I know you don't listen to the podcast, so I'll just say that the ending of the last episode is pretty much everything you said after the audio cut out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Where can I find it? Where can I find the podcast?
Excellent question, Tyler. If you are looking for Conversations Over, or you're looking to show a friend where it is, which we would highly appreciate, you can find it.
I would like to interject here. Anyone listening to this isn't looking for it. They found it.
Well, if you're looking for the rest of the episodes and you've been recommended it by a friend who just so happened to hold you down and play this episode, thank you, first of all, because this is the only episode where we mention where the podcast is thus far. So thank you, listener, for showing them this one. But if that's your situation, you can find Conversations Over under that title wherever you find your podcasts, be it Spotify, Overcast, iTunes, or pretty much anywhere else you might find a podcast. We're working with Anchor, so they do a pretty good job of making sure it gets out to every streaming service as soon as it becomes an option. And I know that a few people have found it on Overcast, which thank you, whoever you are. Most of our listeners are on Spotify at the moment. That's a good place to look.
Yeah, I'm on the podcast and I can't even find it. So
Is that true?
yeah, for sure. I looked for it the other day.
That is very disheartening. As the
What-
co-host who I followed it and found it the first time we published anything.
What do I search?
You search Conversations Over.
I did. There's so many.
Let me pull up my phone and give you exactly what it's under on Spotify. So all you Spotify listeners, this is for you guys, as well as Tyler. Okay, so
right.
currently you can find the podcast Conversations Over. Presumably, if you search Conversations Over on Spotify, and then you put my name, Garrett Ray, after it.
Oh shit. Okay, so that's why I couldn't fucking find it because you took all the credit.
If, and this is pertinent because I did not know it was published under just my name, if you're looking for it in the future, it has been updated and it now is under Garrett and Tyler Ray.
Is that like an ampersand?
It is the word and.
Oh,
Would you rather it be an ampersand?
I don't know.
I think aesthetically it looks better. Let's find out right now. A little behind the scenes. Where's the ampersand key? It's Shift 7. It looks better. It's an ampersand now.
Alright, we're gonna play a quick little mini game here.
Excellent.
I'm gonna turn my volume up. I'm gonna press play on my Spotify. This can't be in because we'll get copywritten, but this is just a game for you and I. I'm gonna press play, right? But before I press play, guess what song is playing?
Before you press play?
Before I press play. It's like the end of the song. I'll put it to the middle. Here, give me a time stamp between 0 and 3:39.
2:16.
Alright, I'll press play at 2:16. What's the song?
God, I have no idea. That was a terrible clip.
Any guesses?
Because of you? Hello?
You have
Did
gone
Zoom
quiet.
crash again? No, it says Zoom is still active. Tyler, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Excellent. What was the answer?
Oh, it's because
I
of
was
you, Kelly
correct then.
Clarkson.
I think we can leave that in
Okay, I
because
can hear
it
that
wasn't
part.
a 10-second long clip, and I think it makes for a good comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to defend my taste in music to anyone, first of all, because that's a banger.
It's a great
that
song.
slaps. But I was working out at 6 a.m., as one does when they haven't gone to sleep yet, and Spotify came up with this like time capsule playlist, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm all about nostalgia, and that was on there. I just thought that was funny that that's what the song was.
Fall is a time for remembering.
All right, back to the topic at hand. I feel like we haven't stayed. I mean, this is like. I feel like we should still
We
release
will,
this podcast,
absolutely.
but it hasn't been on topic.
Welcome to the first and certainly not final rambling episode of Conversations Over.
I warned people in the first
You
episode.
truly did.
Go back and watch that if you want to.
So we're getting back to the topic on hand.
All right, back to this pizza. Eileen pepperoni.
Excellent reference. We're not going to give any
Yeah.
hints as to what that is. If you find out, well done.
If you know, you know.
Is there a follow-up to that?
No.
Well, thanks for tuning in this
Just-
week. This has been Conversations Over. And I think we can call this
This has
conversation over.
This has been Conversations with a Crackhead.
We hope you enjoyed.
Was this actually? Are we done?
It kind of is better that way, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Cut out the crackhead part. I don't do drugs, guys. I'm not sure people are going to believe me after what I talked about when you were gone.
Are you still rolling?
Yeah, I'm still recording. This is just for.
Okay, I'm still rolling,
Okay.
too.
Oh, okay. Are we going? Are we are we rolling? What's that reference actually?
Are we rolling? That's from the 10-minute power hour.
It's from Game Grumps, right?
Yes.
All right, sick.
Tucker, are we rolling?
I kind of like that outro though. This has been Conversations Over, and this conversation is over.
That was intended to be the outros from episode 1, and we just haven't gotten it in
Really?
yet.
That's kind of clean.
Yes. I thought it was good.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the 4-minute bonus clip. As I said 4 minutes ago, this has been Conversations Over, and I think we can call this conversation over.
We'll see you guys next week.